This video I'm going to talk just a little bit about why I am a Scoutmaster. Welcome back to Survival on Purpose. My name is Brian. Thanks for joining me. So this video I want to talk very briefly about why I'm a Scoutmaster and why I support the Boy Scouts of America and why I think it is still today one of the best things that a young man can do with his time. So I'll try to keep this brief, but I don't know if you're aware, but the Boy Scouts have an oath and they have 12 points of the Scout Law. So to kind of, as a preface to this video, I'm going to recite the oath for you. I'm going to talk about the Scout Law. So the oath that all Boy Scouts have to memorize as soon as they join is, on my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country, to obey the Scout Law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. Okay, that's the oath. If you think about those things, pretty good oath. It says to obey the Scout Law. Here are the Scout Laws. There's 12 points. A Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. Now I know those of you who were in Scouts or are in Scouts were like probably going over doing those with me. And you probably learned to say them really fast. Sometimes I encourage you to slow down and think about those, because they are why I think that Boy Scouts are possibly the best hope for the United States of America and for the world at large. So let's talk about that for a minute. Many of you know I'm a Scoutmaster. I have 2 sons that are Eagle Scouts. I have 2 more that are on their way up, and I've been involved with the Boy Scouts on and off since I was about 10 years old, 11 years old. I was in the Boy Scouts when I was a boy, and I can honestly say so many things in my life that I take for granted now, if I really stop and think about it, I learned in the Boy Scouts. There's so many skills, and not just skills, but character traits and abilities that I picked up and started in the Boy Scouts. And let me just tell you where I'm right now. I'm at a Boy Scout camp on Lake Altoona, north of Atlanta, and we camped out here last night. So this morning, a bunch of boys from the age of probably 13 to 17 with this group got up, and they either slept out, either tents they put up last night or hammocks they slept in. They got up, they cooked breakfast themselves, they cleaned up their pots and pans and their dishes themselves, they built a fire themselves. They actually went, we canoed around the lake some, took the canoes back, walked back in. They had lunch. We're about to have dinner that they're going to cook themselves. And there wasn't any fighting, there wasn't any drinking involved, there wasn't any anything at all harmful or negative, but yet they're having a great time. And they may not even know it, but they're learning some valuable skills and character traits. The skills we kind of take for granted. Boy Scouts learn to tie knots, and they learn to build fires, and they learn to cook over fires, and they learn to cook, and they learn to paddle canoes around without getting lost and without bumping each other. They learn to read maps. They learn to hike. There's a lot of skills that we in the outdoor community put a lot of value on. Those are the things that we all strive to be better at, even today, a lot of us in this community we're in. But there are other skills that maybe we don't think so much about that the Boy Scouts learn. They learn to start a task and finish it. They learn that even when things are hard. Here's a quick story. We opened up one of the chuck boxes this morning where we keep all the stoves, and every patrol, a group of kids, has chuck boxes. So they got their pots and pans and their stoves and their all their utensils and stuff in there, right? We opened one of them up, and there had been a visitor. So there was a roll of paper towels in there, which was in shreds, all packed up in a corner, and you know what that means. There had been some tiny little visitors in there, which means you don't know where the tiny little visitors decided to do their business. So all the pans, had been probably, at least they were suspects of being contaminated. The stove was nasty, and yeah, these young men they circled their wagons, they figured it out. They got some water going, they cleaned everything up, they cooked breakfast, everybody ate, nobody starved, and everybody had a decent time, and it was all handled. So they learned to overcome adversity, they learned to do hard stuff, and learned to do challenging things, and they learned that if they'll stick to it and they will put their mind to it, and sometimes if they'll work together, that they can accomplish anything they set their mind to. So some people may think, well, what value do the Boy Scouts have in a lot of modern society? I'm not going to be in the woods. I'm going to be a computer guy. I'm going to be an accountant. Or I'm going to be a lawyer. I'm going to be whatever. I don't ever plan to be in the woods. I could care less about that. Well, maybe that's true. Man, I can't even imagine that, by the way. But if that's you, you're probably not watching. So it's probably not you, because you're probably not watching this video. But maybe you know somebody like that. The skills and character traits that are learned through the Boy Scouts are not just about building fires and pitching tents and paddling canoes. Again, it is a character development program, I guess, that in my opinion is parallel to none. There are a lot of other great organizations, I'm not knocking that, but I have pitched my tent, so to speak, with the Boy Scouts of America, and they've had some controversy in the past few years. I'm not getting into that, okay? I have chosen to continue to support the Boy Scouts and to continue to support these young men. And I guess the reason for making this video is to, if maybe you're on the fence about the Boy Scouts, or maybe you think, well, I don't care about the Boy Scouts because of this, because they did that, or because they made this decision, or whatever the case may be, I'd urge you to rethink that. At least consider it. Maybe you don't have any kids. Maybe your kids are grown and gone, but you've got some skills and you've got experience and wisdom. And you're looking for something to do with it. Man, find a local Boy Scout troop, hook up with them. They would love to have your skills and experience. They would love to have just to have the benefit of your knowledge. And I'm telling you, there's nothing more satisfying than seeing a young man learn to build a fire, build his first fire, or strap into a rappelling harness and go off that rappelling tower the first time. I can tell you that a couple of years ago, I worked at the rappelling climbing area at summer camp, and these kids would come up. They're 11 years old now. They're little, and you get them up top of this tower, 50 foot tall, and they're strapped into this harness. They got ropes on them, and they look down, and you can see it in their eyes. Some of them are like completely terrified. And finally, a couple of times I had to hook up the other rope and go down with them, but almost without exception, once they get down that first time, you could not race them and beat them back up to the top again, because, man, the feeling of accomplishment and the feeling of satisfaction that they just gained, and the confidence they just gained, is just non-paralleled. So, and that's just one example. My point is, I urge you to support the Boy Scouts. If you're walking into a grocery store right now, it's popcorn season, it's fundraisers, you see those little guys selling popcorn, man, give them a couple of bucks or buy some popcorn or something. The popcorn's crazy expensive, I understand that, but help them out. Our troop doesn't even sell popcorn, so there is absolutely no self-servingness in this. We don't even do that, okay? So do whatever you can to help the Boy Scouts. I really, truly believe that they are one of the most important organizations going in America right now. What we need more than anything in this country and in the world is men of character. We need women of character too, but I'm dealing with men. We need men of character and integrity, and above all else, that's what the Boy Scout teaches. So anyway, that is my little push for the Boy Scouts. I just want to maybe that explains why I'm a Scoutmaster, why I think the Boy Scouts are such a significant and important program. I hope this has not been too out of the box for you, and appreciate your watching. Support the Boy Scouts. As always, thanks for watching Survival on Purpose. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for clicking that thumbs up, for sharing it with your friends, for watching those ads, and thank you so much for shopping on Amazon through my links. It really helps the channel, and I really appreciate it. Once again, my name's Brian. You're watching Survival on Purpose. Remember, survival is not an accident, so be prepared. See you next time. Helpful, friendly, courteous, kind of obedient, cheerful, truthful, brave, plain, rabbit. One. Wow. I'm rambling already, and we're like, what, 15 seconds in?